Over 6,000 individuals were affected by violence against the person in Redbridge for 2016, and already nearly 600 have been affected this year alone. This includes a range of offences including murder, harassment, common assault, actually bodily harm, grievous bodily harm, possession of offensive weapon with intent and other violence. We found that 56% of residents do not feel safe or feel only somewhat safe living in Redbridge. This is a massive amount of people who do not feel safe living in the borough, considering there are 300,000 people who live here. That makes 150,000 people who do not feel safe living in their own home. So what can we do? I wanted to find out more about the crime in the area, so I have visited King Solomon High School in Barkingside and asked their security guards what they think of the crime in the high street. So have you witnessed any type of crime recently?
We have had here a year, 18 months ago, quite a serious situation that we did have here at the school when two boys came through Starch House Lane gate at the same time as the parents were coming in, when the junior parents were allowed in at the same time as the children were leaving through that gate. And the two boys were into the school because they said they were part of picking somebody up. They were actually looking for somebody in KS. The unfortunate part was they did leave the site eventually, but as they left the building here, one of the security officers here recognised one of them as possibly being an ex-student here, and so he did have, which is unfortunate for everybody, a rather large knife, and they were both charged. The downside was because of their age, I don't think they could have been officially charged, but they were charged for carrying offensive weapons.
It is clear that violence against the person here at this school in Barkingside is taking protective measures to prevent any crime from happening. However, the rest of the borough needs to do something as soon as possible. There were almost 7,000 records of violence against the person collected in December 2016 for Redbridge alone, and a whopping 6,000 violent crimes have been recorded in just January 2017 for the whole of London.
Detectives are hunting a man who attacked 3 women with a hammer in a hotel on Oxford Street.
Police were called here in the early hours of yesterday morning following reports of an assault. They say a single male suspect entered the room on the 7th floor where the women and 3 children were sleeping in adjoining bedrooms. They believe the suspect might have been disturbed when one of the women woke up. He then went on to violently assault all 3 of them with a hammer.
Today I managed to interview a young woman named Rebecca who tells us her experience on facing domestic violence.
I couldn't escape. I was trapped. I was so scared of my partner. I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't do anything without telling him first.
Did he ever hurt you?
Yes, several times, until the worst time when I actually had to call the police. And if I didn't, then I don't think I would be here today. I had the impression that he was cheating, which I did find out later was true, but at the time it was the least of my worries. He hadn't been answering the phone for several hours.
What is that?
I made you tea.
I'm not thirsty.
I'll clean it.
I still didn't know where he'd been. I remember my heart beating so fast I could barely breathe. His grip round my arm felt as though it would break me. He pulled me away from the table and threw me to the floor. As I went down, my head hit the table. I was immediately disorientated.
I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, I'm sorry.
Next time you won't be so lucky.
So Rebecca's story was truly unfortunate, but thankfully she survived and is now living her life to the fullest. It is clear from this case that domestic violence is a serious topic and can be life-threatening. If this happens to you or anyone else, it is important that you know this is not normal and it should not happen. Almost 3,000 cases of domestic abuse were recorded in Redbridge in 2016 alone, including rape, which was recorded 184 times, and other assaults such as underage sex and assaults, which were recorded almost 400 times. So what can you do if you know someone who has been domestically abused, or you believe that you're a victim of domestic abuse yourself? Well, our cognitive behavioural therapist and psychiatrist, Janice McKenzie, told us earlier on today how you can help if this is an issue.
Domestic violence occurs when a person uses physical violence, coercion, threats, intimidation, isolation, stalking, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, or economic abuse to control another partner in a relationship. It is a violation of the right we all have to a healthy, supportive and safe relationship. You can refer your neighbour, your co-worker, your family member or your friend to a domestic violence outreach organisation if they are being abused. Or if it's you that's being abused, try and speak to whoever it is that you feel is abusing you with your concerns.
Luckily, Rebecca was able to escape from her partner Ian Holder thanks to help from the police and calling the National Domestic Violence Free Phone Helpline. The free phone 24-hour National Domestic Violence Helpline, run in partnership between Women's Aid and Refuge, is a national service for women experiencing domestic violence, with family, friends, colleagues and others calling on their behalf. However, not everyone is as lucky as Rebecca, and some victims of domestic abuse are either killed or still suffering. It is down to you if you suspect someone is being domestically abused. If you are a victim of domestic abuse, do not be afraid because you are not alone. Thank you so much for watching our documentary. We really hope it could be of some help.